March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, chapter 38, chapter 18, and the governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limitation on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Shawsheen Valley Regional Vocational Technical School District Committee will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. For this meeting, members of the public who wish to listen or watch the meeting may do so by accessing the meeting link that was posted. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event that we are unable to do so, despite best efforts, we will post on the Shawsheen website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record of proceedings after the meeting. And I am going to just mention something. I have been asked why we aren't letting public in yet. The governor has not changed this order since March. I checked it last week. This order has not changed.
Patty, can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Is there a way to look into that? Because I know that the PAC had an outside meeting last week and there was quite a few people there. So I'm not sure why they could gather in such a big group and we can't have members of the public in. Can we have it in another location in the building?
The governor has not changed this about open meeting laws as of, I checked it last week. So
Okay.
as far as I know, he has not changed.
All right, at some point we might want to have a conversation about the PACs then, because there was quite a few people out in that area. So.
All right, attending this meeting is Attorney Peterson, Ms. Gillis, Ms. Gallagher, Ms. Edwinian, Mr. Fusco, Mr. Moffett, Mr. McIntyre, Mr. Geddick, myself, Superintendent Jackson, and our attorney. And we are going to go into executive session right now for collective bargaining strategies.
I'll make a motion, we go to executive session.
Second. Okay, Glenn.
Yes.
Ron?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Nancy?
Yes.
And Ms. Gallagher, Lisa?
Yes.
Can you hear us very well?
Yep.
Microphone?
Much better. The audio is much better.
Much
All
better.
right. All right, and the chair says yes. We're in executive session as of 7:34.
So stand by, we'll let.
Legal bills.
Legal bills.
Okay, good. Okay, approval of bills. We got two from Howard Greenspan and one from.
Madam Chairman, move to approve as presented the bills of Mr. Greenspan and McAvoy and Joyce.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
So moved.
So moved. All right, approval of minutes of June 23rd, 2020.
So moved for approval.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Approved. July 16th,
So moved.
2020.
For approval.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous vote. July 22nd, 2020.
I'll move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Aye, so approved. August 7th, 2020.
So move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so moved. September 9th, 2020.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Madam
Aye.
Chairperson,
Oh,
I
I'm
would
sorry.
abstain. I was not present.
Okay. All those opposed? So approved. All right, we have one, I saw one correspondence.
Two.
Two thank yous, right?
Two thank yous in the packet.
Yes. Two thank yous in our packet. Everybody saw them? Okay. I don't have any questions from residents. We do have the ability to answer the phone.
Yes.
Patty, can I just ask why that's not on our agenda? I noticed the last couple months it hasn't, like, public comment hasn't been on there.
It
It's
is
on
on
there.
this one.
It
Is
is
there?
on
I
the
didn't see
agenda.
it.
It
It
is on the agenda.
and people who would like to ask a question are invited to call the conference room number at the top of the agenda, 978-671-3664.
Okay, we'll go to superintendent's report, daycare update.
Yes, I just,
Madam Chairperson, may the record reflect that I was not present in the room during this discussion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem.
All right.
so this is the update that the committee had asked for at the, regarding daycare. So the fiscal year 20 has closed, and all of our daycare employees were paid throughout the entire shutdown through the end of the school year, and all of the deductions were taken from our employees who utilized daycare, and those deductions were used to pay the staff of our daycare center during the course of the shutdown through June. The daycare center has reopened for the beginning of the school year and is fully being used. I have scheduled a meeting with all of the customers, if you will, of the daycare center that's going to take place tomorrow, where we're going to have a conversation with them about what we would jointly like to do in the event that we would have to shut down, that we might have to shut down. I consider these people to be their employees as well as the employees of the Shawsheen School District. These people take care of their children. I think it's important for our customers who are those teachers who use our daycare system to understand the possible ramifications of discontinuing pay of our daycare staff. They may leave, they may, if their pay isn't continued through a shutdown. Again, this is just hypothetical, but it's for planning purposes. And I want to try to get a consensus of the group before we have to see a shutdown as to how they would like to handle it. And then based on, if we're able to get some consensus, we can make some decisions based on that. So at this point in time, because all of our employees are required to report to work, and they are not allowed to have non-school age children in their classroom, our daycare center is being fully utilized at this point in time. And we're in the process of planning with them how we would handle the shutdown should it occur in the future.
All right, but the superintendent, what about the shutdown we had? Did we give them a rebate on
We did
this
not.
year?
We did not give them any rebate because that money was used to pay the staff.
That's my sticking point.
That
right
was
there.
tabled.
I understand that, but
What kind of services were they getting during the shutdown? That,
Right.
we can really take that money. I don't think it's fair.
right, I don't either. I think we have an issue here where,
Well, how many of the clients or whatever you want to call them, primarily users of daycare center are teachers, right? Who work
They're
here?
all
They're all teachers.
Okay, so,
they're all employees.
okay, employees of here.
Yes.
So, and we're talking roughly 20?
Yes. Less than
Okay,
20.
so let's say 15 plus people.
Yes.
Did any of them argue that they should not be paying? Or were
Yes.
they, and was it a significant number? And did that become a big issue? In other words, if it were, some people would have said, I'm happy to continue to pay because I don't want the staff to be gone. Because guess what? If these people aren't paid and they all leave, who knows which ones are going to ever come back? So once you lose people, they may be gone. So, you know, there's certainly a reason for the 15 or so people who were paying to continue to pay if they want to retain the staff. I mean,
Well, the money was already spent. I think at this point, the staff was paid.
Yeah.
They didn't get the services and we
Right.
appropriated the money. I think we should give that money back to them.
Yeah, but
is
it's
what I
not an
think.
outside agency. It's not the same as us, as the people contracting to an outside daycare center. That's totally different. Like the sports club membership. I quit the sports club and I, you know, didn't want them to continue to bill me. But that's a different story. This is a service provided in-house for the employees. It's different.
I believe if you send your child to a private daycare and you're scheduled to go 5 days a week and you decide not to send the kid on Friday because you're gonna go away for the long weekend, you still have to pay
You do.
and you're not
Right.
getting anything.
Yeah,
Right,
but
but this is-
but
this
And
is
I
different.
mean, it's not
This is
insane,
different.
but
This is a unique
I know it's
situation.
not
I mean,
the
this
same,
is-
but it's still.
This is totally different. I mean, every other town, I mean, you can make a case to say what you want, but every other town that I'm aware of, I mean, take private out of it. But
Right.
every other school, like after-school programs, every
Preschools.
single, my daughter went for a week and they had a COVID case in her thing and the school system credited it back. I mean, this is like, you can't really say that this is like a, you know, it's hopefully
Well,
never
there's
gonna
no choice
happen
to wait.
again. I
Yeah.
mean, there's always gonna be, you can say, you know, is our teachers and whatever, but to Paul's point, it's been spent. And I still think that most other places have provided some type of rebate. And I
What are
mean,
we talking about in terms of what did an individual parent spend during the time that they didn't get service?
So I don't
We're
have,
talking
I,
I think it was like
$4,000 or something? I mean,
800 a
How
month.
much per day?
they pay,
pay monthly?
they pay $800 a month for 10
right.
months.
And how many months
$8,000.
did they not get service?
March, April, May,
Well-
June.
4 months.
4. So $3,200
It's a lot of money.
I don't know.
times 15 or 20 people.
That's a
If
lot
it's
of money.
20, that's
I think we eat
That's-
it.
I agree with you. I think we need-
$60,000 we're talking about?
Yes.
That money would, if it, I don't have, I do not have the data in front of me tonight to answer the question. That money should come out of the revolving account for that program. And if it's not there,
Yep.
then it would have to, then the taxpayer, then it would come out of our budget.
What if we apply to credit to this year? Now, it's not gonna apply to everyone.
Then
We
it'll-
would still be running the red.
We'd
That's,
still
I
be
guess
running-
that's the
we'd
issue.
Still be running in the red.
Okay, well, then
But
maybe
I-
Melanie needs to be part of this conversation to see
Yeah. I think
how we
that's-
can make this work. That's the right thing to do. Can we
yeah,
do it?
I agree.
Maybe
I
the
think-
question.
And
we
is
need to
there
do
a-
it.
Was staff paid that whole time
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
as normal, as if they have full
Yes.
work?
Yes. But that's the way most places did it anyway. Staff was always paid.
So that money has to come from somewhere.
Got a rebate?
Well, that's
Taxpayer,
the
yeah.
exact issue, is
Full.
that, you know,
Staff was paid, but like, coaches weren't.
at this time, the
No.
interim superintendent had to make a decision without having access to all of the users, and made a decision to continue to pay our employees, all of our employees. And along with the school committee made, I assume, part of that decision around teachers and et cetera. But all of our staff continue to get paid. Our school food service folks continue to get paid, et cetera. And those monies came out of the revolving account. I don't have the history to know whether or not the revolving account for the daycare center has that type of balance available in it. We can provide that report to the committee at the next meeting.
Yeah, why don't we-
I think it's
why
a
don't we
very,
Get more data
I think it
before we
would be,
decide.
I think that's a key piece of data before we.
In other words, they have their own revolving account.
Yes. This is not a taxpayer subsidized.
Right. So,
Daycare center. They receive the space from Shawsheen, but they
But that
Staff-
would
and the
hurt.
staff-
Self-funding, yeah.
And the staff there, if they do receive benefits, those benefits are paid through our budget, but other than that, all of their salaries are paid through the revolving account through tuition.
Okay,
And if the tuition stopped, their pay would stop. Their pay did not stop.
So,
And at this point,
But
the
the
tuition
teaching
did not stop.
did.
the tuition didn't stop
Well,
either, obviously.
I don't think that.
We need more information. We gotta know
I
if,
can
number
get you
one,
the
did everybody pay when they were supposed to pay?
Yes,
yes,
Okay, so we have the money
the
there.
paycheck, they've done, it's done through payroll deduction,
Okay,
so they didn't have a
all right.
choice. It's important to be upfront.
So-
They didn't have,
So we should know,
this
for,
was a decision. that
so
was
for the
made.
future, we should know exactly how many people are involved, exactly what the amount is, and what, if any, money is in the revolving account, because that money,
I can get that to you.
that would be easy to allocate that.
I think it's always run close to the rate.
probably.
I would think so.
Yeah,
It
I
would
would
probably be
think you're
close to
right.
zero, but they must have some funding. some-
Well, if Burlington, for instance, how do they do it? So somebody else did this, how they do it? Maybe we can find out, talk to some other, school districts.
I
and
just know
find
that
out
Tewksbury,
what do they
like their
do?
revolving account was
Yeah.
very much in the black.
Yeah, and most of the.
Most of them probably are, Patty,
Yeah.
but
The
there's
actual-
gotta be a way of figuring it out.
Right, if the account happens to be in the black by enough, then it's easy to do that, but
Well,
if it isn't,
I'll get you the
Yeah.
the information about
numbers.
the balance. I'll review it with Melanie, and we'll bring that back to the next meeting.
Okay.
and also we should talk about maybe if this happens again, how we're gonna handle it.
Well, that's what I'm
the
meeting
meeting
with.
That's what
I'm
started
meeting
this.
with them. I'm gonna meet with them and try to develop a consensus before this happens.
Okay.
The challenge was that in March, something happened that nobody expected, and the interim superintendent was called upon to make very difficult decisions in a very quick amount of time to be able to, and it's a decision, frankly, that I would have made the exact same decision. And I did in my other community, in my extended day program, I paid the entire extended day program through the end of the school year. But I had a balance in the, I did it by consulting with the school committee, and we had a balance in our extended day account. I don't know whether I don't think that's the case.
well, also in March, most people probably thought, rightly or wrongly, in this case wrongly, that this was gonna mostly be over by the summer.
Well, the original shutdown,
And-
don't forget, was for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Then it was
Right.
extended to 2 more.
Right,
weeks,
I mean,
right?
you
So
know,
by
I
the
mean-
time we're in April, and near April vacation, then
Right.
the full
So
shutdown.
we have no
Then we
idea
were
now.
shut
This could be
down
going on
till-
for 5 years for all we know.
Well, but my
Don't
point
even
is,
say that, please,
at
Glenn.
the time
Well, we
these
don't know.
decisions were made, on March 12th, we were shut down for 2 weeks. Then we were shut down through April vacation by Governor edict. Then we were shut down through Memorial Day.
Right.
Then we were shut down through the end.
Right.
So these were interim decisions, that's probably a poor choice of words, but these were small incremental decisions that the interim superintendent made, that again, were I in the same place, I would have made the same decisions. Let's hang on for another couple of weeks, see what happens. Let's hang on for another couple of weeks and see what happens. And then ultimately the bottom drops out, and we find ourselves in this situation. I think I understand that people are frustrated, that people feel they paid for nothing. In my opinion, what they paid for was the fact that all of those employees returned to work this fall and are taking care of their children right now. And if they hadn't been paid, I don't think anybody could, that may or may not have been the case. And ultimately, that has to have some value, and that's gonna be my conversation that I have with them tomorrow, is what's the value?
Right, Nancy, you have anything?
I'm sorry, I've heard half of it. I feel that it was, the cause of it doesn't matter. It's the effect of it. the cause was all beyond anybody's doing. Nobody decided to make this happen. Nobody decided to arbitrarily close down. But the effect was there was no daycare. And I think knowing the costs and the expenses of maintaining the program, maybe a partial refund would be done, but I don't know how much and how much we can afford to give back. But I don't think anybody can take blame for this. Brad's right, it came in increments, but the effect was the whole thing closed down.
So we should wait till next
And
year.
that, you know, nobody wanted it, nobody made it happen. We were all victims of it, and we have to make the best of it.
All right, thank you. Oh, from here.
Better for worse, I think we'll also get some more insight when you do have a chance to talk to the parents and hear what they have to say.
Right, see what
You know, are they,
I
not that it makes a big effect on the final decision, but it's just another piece of information for us.
Well, I will relay this, well, it's public, so I'm sure they'll
Right.
have heard it by the time I meet with them tomorrow. But I will also touch base with them about last year, and find out how widespread the requests were for refunds and or how predominant the objections were to continuing to have their pay, the tuition taken out of their pay. And whether they would like, you know, what their, as a group, what their collective feeling is about last year. Is it water under the bridge? I mean, it's a lot of money individually, I get it.
Well, it's not much individually, it's a lot collectively.
Well, it's both. I mean, I agree, but,
$3,200.
but the message I also want to give these people is that I consider these daycare people their employees also. They're caring for their children in a very exceptional way. That I can see. I can't visit. It's killing me.
All right,
But it has to be equitable across the board. I don't think you give it to some and not to others just because some people think that
What
they
did you
have.
say? Yeah.
Agreed.
But I think, Brad, you need to have a conversation with Melanie just to see
Yes,
how financially this.
Right.
So,
I'll bring that
so,
information back to the
you'll-
next
so
meeting.
if I understand you correctly, you're meeting with the parents tomorrow
Yes,
and to talk about if we ever have another shutdown, what the procedure is gonna be, et cetera, et cetera. And you're also gonna bring up things that in the past.
right,
yes.
Thank you. So we'll hear from you.
We'll hear from you at the
Thank
next meeting.
all right.
Thank you.
Okay, subcommittee reports. Budget subcommittee.
Thank you, Bob.
Oh, Bob, not come back?
Where's Bob?
Come here, huh?
Here he comes.
There he is.
All right, you're on.
So we had a subcommittee meeting at 7:00, to talk about some additions to special ed. I'm gonna let Brad, explain it better. One was a half-time psychologist and half-time, department chair. I think we should make the motion to, support this subcommittee's decision to approve that position.
I have a second.
Second.
Anybody have any questions about this position?
Very well made presentation.
Right, that was a good presentation. All right,
And if I could, just to answer one question that was asked to me previously, this position is also designed to improve our procedural aspects that will address some of the complaints that have been filed with the Department of Education.
Thank you.
Patty, with the vote on that.
yeah, all those in favor?
Question, excuse me, this is one position?
Yes, one position.
And what is the job description and title?
The half-time school psychologist, half-time team chairperson,
And it's one person.
one person.
Thank you.
Okay, did you vote? Let's try this again. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous vote. Okay, old business. You all got the subcommittee assignments. Everybody's in agreement.
I'd like to know how I became chair of something I don't know anything about.
Because you just
Good
lucked out.
job.
You're a fast learner.
Is that the way you learn around here?
You forgot to step back.
Nancy, that's like how I got made secretary.
Famous thing in, Scene in Stripes.
Well, I'm treasurer too.
Honestly, yeah, Nancy, you're gonna do a great job with that, Nancy.
You will.
I have complete faith in you.
Yeah, right.
Okay. I lost my agenda.
Under new business, the new staff introductions are in your packet. Regarding staff, we still have one open teaching position in the plumbing shop, which the offer letter went out today.
There's your opportunity, Paul.
Okay, I'm
That's
gonna,
No,
like
thank you.
some.
We hired a plumbing teacher who resigned after the first day.
oh, no way.
Meaning.
Toilet back up.
What you do to him? I'll never tell him.
All right,
I know that's
I want to
coming.
welcome the new staff by name because everybody doesn't have this up in the world. Kevin Belanger, HVAC, Nina Brophy, a new nurse, Jennifer Buckley, a support services aide, Jacob Galidi Chase, Spanish teacher, Krishna Magapudi, programming and web, Katie McGinnis, library media specialist, Jacqueline McGowan, support services, Marissa Richardson, a paraprofessional, and Michael St. Bernard, support services. So welcome if you're watching this meeting.
Congratulations.
Welcome to all.
Welcome.
You would have had a reception, you would
We
have
didn't
had
get a
food
dinner.
another day.
I know.
You would have had dinner, a
Right,
reception,
that's right.
maybe next year.
Yeah.
Brad, can I post
Very good
that
dinner.
on social media?
All of the information in the packet is public as soon as the committee is presented publicly. So yes, okay.
I'll put my weight on like this.
Okay, on new business, we already got the request for additional special education staff. Review of social media and open meeting guidelines. Everybody got the MASC social media for school committee members in their packet. And I believe Howard is supposed to talk about the open meeting law.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. The superintendent just asked me to do a quick update on the open meeting law and just focus in on a couple of things. And that being that the open meeting law defines deliberation as an oral or written communication through any medium, including electronic mail, between or among a quorum of a public body on any public business within its jurisdiction. So I think we just wanted to inform the committee to be aware and be cautious about emails, about replying to all. There's been cases decided about serial communications, which means that you could email one person, but if that other member forwards that email, and then the other member forwards that email, you're starting to get involved in a deliberation in violation of the open meeting law. So I think we want to just give a quick update on that. The email communications that relate to distribution of meeting agenda, scheduling information, procedural materials or documents that may be discussed, those are not deliberations. So you can feel free to exchange emails about those type of matters. But we just want to be very careful about emails regarding opinions of members that relate to policy items that the committee may discuss, and the danger of replying all or emailing all committee members, or emailing one with the potential that these things become serial emails and a deliberation in violation of the law.
But Howard,
I
how do you
think-
control that if it's going to be forwarded by an individual? You're unaware of it. How do you
Well,
control?
that's why the better practice is to be conservative, not send an email to an individual member regarding a potential matter that's going to come before the committee. Because that has the potential to keep snowballing, and that's when we'll have an issue with the Attorney General's
And
office in the
basically,
open
you're
meeting.
just saying, keep it out of your email. Okay,
Right.
all right.
Anybody else have any questions?
So for social media, that I'm sure means that we need to be very careful about responding to each other, responding to a teacher. When in doubt, say nothing.
Correct.
Don't be on social media like me.
No, some of us are.
Yeah, no Facebook post or anything like that.
Anti-social meeting.
Just be careful. I'll do this until day one when I get on the board. Just be careful.
I have a question, Howard. I have gotten phone calls from constituents. I can respond to phone calls.
Yes, and you can respond to emails from constituents, yes.
We
Absolutely.
just can't email each other discussing.
That's
something.
right.
We
You're
can
right.
among
talk
ourselves.
about procedure.
Yes, that's when it becomes a potential deliberation, correct.
So Howard, I can email the whole committee.
Correct,
And
yes.
they can email me individually, but they can't email each other.
Correct.
Is that your message?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't reply all.
Hey, Howard, I had a question for you. Is it
Let me
better-
ask you a question about social media. So if we're on a Shawsheen Tech parents page and I'm a parent of 2 students and I'm responding on my personal Facebook, that's not an issue. I'm responding
No.
as a parent.
Correct. No, I agree.
Okay, I just want to be clear on that. Okay, great, thank you.
I just try very hard to make sure that I respond either as a school committee member or as a parent. I try not to blend the two personally.
Yeah, I don't if I'm on social media, I don't reply as a school committee member. I reply as a parent because I have a stake in that.
Okay. Yes.
Hey, Howard, I had a question on the email. Is it better for everybody has their own, because if it's like for the Attorney General, is it better for people to stick to using the Shawsheen email versus personal?
No, it doesn't matter. I think the Attorney General has ruled on that. It's not the source of the email or the account. It's what's in the email, so it won't matter.
But people should be aware that the Shawsheen email, if you use that, you're better to use that for school correspondence, and if you ever got investigated, versus if you use your personal email, that the whole, every one of your emails can be looked at.
Yeah, and yeah, I think the warning is even if you use your personal email, that's not a defense to a deliberation and a potential violation of the open meeting law. And you also have to be aware that your emails not only are an issue with the open meeting law, but could become public record.
No, that's my point, is it's just people, like, I've talked to on other committees, and if you have something dedicated for Shawsheen, might be better to use Shawsheen, because if you ever get investigated, they're just gonna come with your Shawsheen email. Versus
Right.
if you have you're using your Gmail or Yahoo, then basically they can go for everything.
Right.
Howard, can I ask you a question about texting? If we're, because I know, I've been guilty of this in the past, but like when we're at the table and we text one another, is that considered, like, how do I know, like, how does somebody looking in not know that I'm not texting Glenn across the table that, I hate Patty tonight? I mean, is that like open, is that open to people to, because I actually was asked that question recently. Can people turn around and request our text messages if they see us texting?
I was told, yeah.
I don't think your text messages are going to be necessarily public record, but I can tell you I was involved in a investigation with an outside investigator, and this investigator, I don't know, I still don't know how she did it, but she pulled together some text messages between individuals. So I just think you have to be careful.
We know what that is.
I think the other part of this that isn't necessarily of a meeting law, but just to say, could we make sure that the emails that are on the website for each of us are the emails we use, and that we can, if it's our school email, if we can't access our school email, it shouldn't be up there. Cause you know, I get, oh, I tried to reach so-and-so and the email bounced. Like, all right, well, you reach me, I'll talk to you, but you know, I know some people struggle with that, you know, so I know I had trouble, it's got fixed immediately, but just, if you can't get into your school email, either tell them to change it on the website or get it back.
Everybody here should be able to get in their Shawsheen email, that they're not, they should be talking to Karen and getting Scott to help and getting that done.
Oh,
I don't want the general public emailing my private email.
That's what I want.
Agreed.
I got plenty of emails on my account, so it works.
Thank you.
Future agenda items, anybody have anything? I know we're gonna do the updated, we'll have a policy subcommittee before the next meeting.
Nancy, I will reach out to you and update and brief you on the issues around Title IX and the change to some of the school committee policies that may be required. And then we can decide how we want to schedule a policy subcommittee meeting. Is that all right?
I'll say yes. I'm no good out here. You're all there. I don't know. See how we can do that. I'm still not coming in, kids. I'm sorry.
We have full confidence in you.
We do. I have confidence in you.
I have a question, Patty. Is there any time we can work something in about that business that Lisa and I started and Brad worked on?
All right, so that will be part of a future agenda item regarding,
It's not urgent, but I just want to make sure it's on the upcoming.
yeah, it had to do with training of the school community, things. Lisa,
Patty, can we get something on, like, can we have Jeff Albert come in at some point and give us an update on special education and kind of what's going on in his department?
For October, yeah.
Can we do that?
we will try to fit it in October unless we have too much on it, okay? Because if we
Yep.
do Nancy and your presentation, right, you have a presentation for us, Nancy, or?
No, Brad has it.
Oh, Brad has a presentation.
Brad's got the final product.
Okay.
Lisa, you okay with that, or do you want to do it?
No, I'll leave that up to you, Nancy.
No, I mean, it's a joint thing. I think the final product, nobody owns it. It's just an idea.
No, I just think it'd be nice to have that for incoming school night.
Yes, Bob.
Before we adjourn, I just want to take a minute to congratulate the superintendent on the opening of school. I've read nothing but positive things about the school
right.
opening. And, it's one of the reasons I was such an avid supporter of Mr. Jackson when he took the job, and I'm glad to see that my faith in him has been, as I expected, rewarded. And sometimes it's just nice to know that people notice, and I've heard nothing but compliments.
Thank you. And
Agreed.
I can assure
Thank you
you,
very
it is testimony to an incredible staff we have here at Shawsheen. I've never seen a group come together to work together for the good of our students like this, the faculty and staff of this school. They are truly, they put aside all job responsibilities and got it done. And I think the students are the benefactors for that, and I will pass those
I was
compliments
gonna
along.
say,
Thank
you
you.
put that in, something
Thank you
that
very
you
much.
write to the staff. And you say,
I
thank you.
write the staff every week, thanking
Okay.
them profusely, so I'll add this to this
The
list.
school committee.
And I'll add that, Jeff's weekly emails were invaluable.
Thank you for keeping us in the loop. Appreciate
You know,
that.
I get them twice because you send them twice, but you know, just the fact that she's sending them out was great, and I hope that she's able to
I'll
continue.
pass that on as well. Thank you.
Yeah, I think I second or third that, because doing a great job.
All right, and before we finish, because I forgot the old business, I just have one sentence. I've had parents ask what was going on about the use of student emails. All I can say is the superintendent has acted on the complaints, and that's about it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What we discussed in
Earlier, okay.
Madam Chair, I move for adjournment.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
You're opposed? Stay here.
We are adjourned.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
If anybody has
everybody.
anything, tell me. Contact me.
Stay